Historians have spent decades decoding this ancient tablet, and they've all been missing one chilling detail. They call this a trade log, a mundane list of grain and livestock from the 3rd dynasty of Ur. They say it's boring. They say it's settled history. I didn't believe them. So, I took the raw, high-resolution scans of this tablet and fed them into a neural network, specifically designed to bypass human narrative bias. I gave it one command: find the hidden linguistic patterns that archaeologists have dismissed as scribal errors. 3 minutes later, the AI didn't just find a pattern, it found a direct, terrifying warning for humanity. And what it translated was never meant to be read. We live in a world where history is curated. When we look at ancient artifacts, we aren't just looking at the object, we are looking at the object through the lens of the people who discovered it. Mainstream archaeology operates on a set of rigid filters. If a text doesn't fit the ancient civilization's narrative, if it doesn't align with what we think these people should have been doing, it gets labeled as ceremonial, trade, or simply error. For this tablet, the filter was simple. Sumerians were accountants. They were bureaucrats. They weren't prophets. Anything that didn't fit that, anything that sounded too futuristic, too existential, or too warning-like, was discarded by the human mind before it was even recorded. The machine doesn't care about tenure. It doesn't care about maintaining the status quo of modern history. It cares about probability and patterns. I used a custom-trained LLM and fed it not just this tablet, but thousands of others from the same region to establish a linguistic baseline. Then, I forced it to ignore all established dictionaries and find anomalies. Symbol combinations that defied the standard statistical frequency of Sumerian trade language. The AI pointed to a cluster of symbols in the 3rd column that occur nowhere else in the known record of that dynasty. It flagged these symbols as high entropy markers. In plain English, they weren't accounting terms, they were a command. The cycle of the 7th gate is not closed. The sky fire that burned the foundations will return when the iron sun reaches its peak. This wasn't about grain prices, it was about an astronomical event, a recurring catastrophe that the Sumerians recorded as a warning for future civilizations. The AI identified that the iron sun likely refers to a specific, observable celestial object, a potential astronomical reality that archaeologists have completely ignored because it simply didn't fit the simple agrarian society mold. They dismissed the tablet because they couldn't conceive of a bureaucracy that recorded the end of the world. If an AI can look at a 5,000-year-old rock and find a warning we've been walking past for a century, what else are we missing because we aren't allowed to see it? This is why I started Digital Oracle. We are entering an age where technology allows us to bypass the human filters that have kept us in the dark for so long. The tablets aren't changing, our ability to read them is. What should I have the AI analyze next? The Voynich Manuscript? The Piri Reis Map? Drop your suggestions in the comments. I'm going to run the analysis, and if the data is there, I'll show you what the textbooks don't want you to know. Subscribe, and don't look away.